All right, so this is a training on how to go from dragging your feet to becoming, let's put that in the middle, dragging your feet on stuff to becoming a massive action taker, all in the next 15 minutes. You're going to get a bunch of tools and stuff. So take notes or just come back to the recording since it's a recording. So yeah, let's dive in. First, this is all about you got something you know that you need to do, but you're just not doing it. That's what we're going to dive into today. So it's that thing of like, oh, like I should really exercise more. I should really eat better. You got this thing. I just got to send out cold emails. I should really do these things to build my business. I should start a business. I should start a YouTube channel where I share my love of sewing with the world. Whatever it is, you got a thing. You keep telling yourself you should do it and you ain't doing it. So here's what we're going to talk about is how to be doing it. So about me, been a copywriter for about 8 years, working with a lot of top people in the personal development world. I got to like go behind their scenes and see like what works really well with them and what they teach. I invested 10 years in about 100 grand in my own personal development. And I'm now a certified fearless living life coach. That's from Rhonda Britton. She's amazing. She's been doing this stuff since like 95, was on TV, won an Emmy, fucking incredible. Go learn everything you can from her. She's great. A lot of like what I cover will come from her as well. So basically this is the same tools and systems my clients used to go from dragging their feet to just getting stuff done and kicking ass. Whether it's writing a book, landing a book, 6-figure book deal, getting featured on major publications, launching a podcast, starting exercising and losing 50 pounds while running a 7-figure business and having kids. So don't give me shit about you don't have time. Quitting their job and starting a business, and even just shaving 4 hours off their workday so they can clock out at 2 or 3 and just start like hanging out. So these are the 5 steps to overcome the mental blocks and get this stuff done. First of all, the mental block, it's fear, guys. It's fucking fear. You dig into it. I promise you, you're going to find some fucking fear that's stopping you. I know you might be like, no, it's not that. It's just because I don't have time. Oh, I'm just not clear. That shit is fear in disguise. Okay. So like a lot of times, you know, how to free up an hour a day in your schedule is its own training. It's usually about just blocking off social media, not checking email a billion times a day, focusing on high priority tasks instead of getting sucked into bullshit, learning to keep strong boundaries. That's another training. We'll do that another time. Basically, a lot of times you can kind of look back in your day and you're like, yeah, you think like you had time, you know, you could have found some time. You got sucked into bullshit, or other things of like, oh, I just got to get my ducks in a row first. I'm just not clear on what to do exactly. I got to read 7 more books on the subject. Like, no, that's all just to avoid a deeper fear, a fear of failure, fear of what others might think, a fear that you're not good enough, fear of success, all that kind of like deep under the surface. I see this time and time again in myself, in my clients, in all the people that I've like written copy for doing case studies. It keeps coming up, people. It's fear. Okay. So examples. So I had a client who wanted to exercise more, but she was like, I'm too busy, right? 7-figure business, has kids, in the middle of getting a 6-figure book deal. Reasonable, yeah. But then we dug into it, and really she had this fear of like, well, if I'm going to start working out, then I've got to go all in. I've got to be like an hour a day with a trainer, all this stuff. And we just kind of looked like, really though? Do you? Is that true? And she's like, nah, it isn't. And then we started to break down these kind of limiting beliefs, these bullshit beliefs that were hidden beneath the surface. And once she saw that, we were able to kind of create a new plan, something that worked with her, that helped her bypass this kind of thinking. And then she got an exercise routine and lost 50 pounds. Another was procrastination of like dragging her feet on a podcast. I see this a lot with books too, because people are afraid, like, what if people don't like it? What if, you know, they got these big expectations, they want their podcast or book to be a big thing. And like, what if it falls on deaf ears and everyone's like, this sucks. You're not saying anything new. There's nothing interesting here. You're a bad person who's going to die alone. So it's once we kind of drill into that, then we're able to bypass that fear and get the book written, and you'll get tools for how to do that in a minute. Another was a client and a friend was procrastinating at work, right? He's like, he tried all the productivity tools and he'd still just be fucking around at work, checking YouTube when he, should be writing and all that kind of stuff. So what we did, we really dug in, and he found that he had this belief that his girlfriend worked really hard and was always busy. And he was worried that like, if he wasn't working all the time, then she would like be jealous or get mad at him. So he would legit like, do that thing where she'd walk in the room and he'd like hit the thing to make his work pop up on his screen to like make it look like he's working, as if like that's his mom or whatever. He's trying to do homework. And once he realized that, he talked to his girlfriend and she's like, I don't give a shit. Do whatever you want. And he was like, cool. And that freed him up to like, now he's regularly like piecing out at work at 2 p.m. He gets everything done. He moves on. He's like just playing video games, enjoying life. They even start like open up time to start a side business and travel the US and do all this cool stuff. So that was all from breaking free from that subconscious fear that was really holding him back. Next up is the science of creating habits. A lot of this comes from James Clear in his book, Atomic Habits. We'll just breeze through this. These are some of the key points of first, you want to make it a clear, tangible step of what you're going to do. So a lot of people do that thing of like, oh, I've got to like exercise. Like, what the fuck do you mean exercise? What are you going to do? Like get clear on what the step is. And then like what the clear, tangible next step is. Just focus on that. I know there's probably a million other steps after. Just focus on the next one, baby. It's about getting that momentum and power going. Get it on your calendar or tie it to something you already do. Like, hey, every Wednesday after lunch, I'm going to do this thing, or put it in your calendar. Next up, give yourself a time constraint, 5 to 10 minutes. If you're really struggling, make it 2 minutes. I did this. I spent 2 years being like, I need to write my email list. And then I'd finally be like, okay, I'm going to make it 2 minutes. You can't write anything in 2 minutes. So sometimes I just show up, write for 2 minutes. It'd be garbage. I'd throw it away. Sometimes I'd end up just writing for 20 minutes because I'd get in a groove. The idea is it's not about what you get done in that time. It's about building the habit of showing up. You make it 2 minutes a day and you get your body used to just sitting down in front of that computer or strapping up the running shoes and stepping outside. And once your body's in that habit, it automatically starts to do those initial steps kind of on your own. You just start getting that feel of like, oh, I should be like strapping up my shoes and going outside now, even though you haven't even started running yet, basically. But your body is like used to that habit. So that's the most important thing to do. It's not about like making a lot of progress at first. It's about building that habit. That's the focus. Next up, make it fun. So you can make it, my client with exercise was like, didn't want to do the hard CrossFit-y stuff. So it's like, okay, let's make it fun. Let's go for a walk. Like with her husband, it'll be great. She did that and she loved it. And that made it easy to do more. My other client, was like, just didn't like doing the podcast work. So it was like, okay, well, let's do this. Go to a coffee shop, grab a drink. Don't do it on a computer. Do it on a little sketchpad thing where like play some music, like just make the environment and scene more enjoyable. So there's stuff you can do around there to make it fun. Fucking bring friends, do a co-working session with your friends. And then there's more you can do. The real big shift happens when you make this part of your identity. All these steps we're covering will help you make this part of your identity. There's more that you can do to do that we don't have time to cover right now. But that's something to keep an eye on. That's what I do with my private clients as well. Next up is be gentle with yourself. So what happens is you tell yourself you want to do this thing, but you never do it and you beat yourself up. Or you're like, oh, I'm going to finally start dieting. And you do this big, crazy fucking diet and it lasts for 2 weeks and you fall back into your old routine. Then you go, I'm a piece of shit with no willpower and I suck. And why can't I make anything stick? And fuck me. And that just leads to feeling more disempowered, more down on yourself, and less likely to even try to change in the future because you're so used to this cycle of failure that you're like, I don't even want to get on that because I know how this game ends with me just feeling sad and like I suck. So being gentle with yourself allows you to get away from that shame spiral and being gentle with yourself. Hey, it's okay that you missed a day. You'll just start again tomorrow. Come on, like that helps build confidence. It helps you build momentum. So many people are like, oh, I've got to stick up with this or like it doesn't count. It's like, no, like, look, if you're going like a lot of people, they want to go from 0 days of doing a thing to doing it for 30 days. It's like, and then they miss a week and they're like, well, I might as well give up. But like, if you miss a week, Okay, you can still do it. What if you still did it 15 out of 30 days a month? That's a huge win if, you were doing it 0 days the prior 6 months. So it doesn't have to be this big thing. You can be gentle with yourself. And again, that negativity of like, I suck, like you wouldn't talk to your wife that way or your boyfriend or your kids. So why do you think it's okay to talk to yourself that way? It just leads to you feeling like crap, and being gentle with yourself can help you feel more empowered, more confident, and take more steps. So how do you actually do that? Here's a great tool. You do this, you'll feel better immediately. You do this for a couple weeks or months, your negative self-talk will negative self-talk will stop, or at least come darn close to stopping. It's happened in my life. It's happened in my client's life. We went from beating ourselves up constantly to like, oh, hey, we're not even like doing it anymore. So basically it's acknowledgement. So you focus on the steps that you took, anything outside your comfort zone, anything that was new and different. Hey, you bought running shoes. Hey, you put those running shoes on. Hey, you put the shoes on, like you put shoes on and you went outside. Hey, you thought about doing push-ups for the first time in 10 years. That's a fucking win. You want to acknowledge the steps you take. It's not about the results. It's not about, oh, my client signed on for $10,000 or whatever. That's great. That's a win. That's not necessarily an acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is you sent the proposal for that $10,000 contract or whatever it is. And like, all right, good job, you. Okay, so really focus on the progress you make. We are so good at seeing all the steps we're not taking, and we suck at acknowledging the steps we are taking. When you acknowledge the steps you're taking, you'll feel good, you'll feel more confident, more empowered, you'll take more steps. It becomes this virtuous cycle of you kicking ass. So you want to write these 5 times a day, be so specific in your writing that you could look back at them in 6 months and remember exactly what you're talking about. You want to be focused on the process, again, not about the end result. Ideally, write these 5 times a day. Again, habit building. Let's start with just write one today. Okay. Next up is focusing on the process. So this is what champion athletes do. It's not about like a lot of people focus on the results and then they don't get the results and they feel bad and they're like, oh, I should be here, but I'm only here. And wah, I've done it. Everyone does it. And so what you want to do is focus on the process instead. Focus on how you show up. Focus on who you want to be as you do this thing. Because when you're showing up, and again, champion athletes do this, they focus on showing up and doing their best, being their best. When you do that, you show up as your best, the results are going to take care of themselves, and you don't get sucked into that like, woe is me, I suck. I'm not where I want to be kind of thinking, which just disempowers you more, keeps you stuck. Instead, it keeps you thinking this way, keeps you inspired, motivated, and taking more action. So what you want to do, intention statement. Today I'm going to practice. That's a very important stem. So you're not too hard on yourself if you don't quite do it perfectly, because it's okay. Be gentle, baby. So today you're willing to practice. You want to be focused on the positive, focus on the process. Again, it's about how you show up. It's not about, today I want to focus on getting 10 clients. Like, no, you want to focus on like helping others and living with an open heart. Today, even before doing the training, I did a Facebook Live and I was kind of getting on that, like, ooh, what if people don't show up? What if people don't like it? And I was like, no, I'm going to focus on like just living like I've already got everything I need in my life, because that just lets me come from a relaxed place of swagger, basically, and have a lot more fun and be of service better. And it works. It helps for my own life and business. So coming up with how you want to show up, think of how your ideal self would do it. Think of people you admire, how they show up, and what qualities do they have that you can bring to this task that you're avoiding and hesitant to do. So putting it all together. Client was like, I should work out sometime. We were like, what the fuck? Let's just do it now. Let's make it small. Let's realize you don't have to go all in. And there's other ways that we can make this work. Let's make it fun. Let's do it. You go for a walk with your husband. Sweet. Let's start once or twice a week. What happened was her identity shifted. She became a person who enjoyed exercising. If she missed a few days, she would be chomping at the bit to go out again. And this is someone who hadn't exercised in years. We kept it small and manageable. And then we celebrated all the wins along the way, or the progress that she was making along the way. And then that led to more her just wanting to work out even more, and like, she realized how good she felt, how much energy she had, and then she wanted to do more. She wanted to do different exercises, and it was easy, even if she missed a bunch of time, to fall back into her exercise routines. And she lost a bunch of weight. She had way more energy for her business, for her family. She was able to play on the ground with her kids without her bones hurting. It just made it, exercise can have a huge ripple effect on our life. Next up, launching the podcast. This same applies for clients that have had write books. It's the same process. Same for like doing cold outreach to get clients, or putting up stuff to promote your business. A lot of the times it's like the imposter syndrome, the what if nobody likes it? I'm not saying anything special. And this helps you crush that. So basically, this client had those thoughts, had like these expectations. Oh, my thing needs to be this big, amazing thing everyone loves. Nope. Get rid of the expectations, focus on your intentions. How do you want to show up? You want to show up about help. This is about helping people that this can help. Focus on that person, focus on who you can help. That made her inspired to keep showing up, and took a lot of that pressure away. We acknowledge the heck out of every step along the way. Hey, today you wrote down the list of things you need to do. Awesome. Great job. Hey, today you sent out that email asking someone to be on your podcast. Hell yeah. Great job. Hey, today, you found certain aspects of this job that you can outsource. Fuck yeah. Great job. Keep acknowledging all those steps, and then finally make it fun. Like I said, hey, go out and do this at a coffee shop. Go do it with some friends. Go create an environment. Like when I would be stressed out over sales pages in my copy days, I was like, I get to have a Guinness while I write my sales page, because Guinness makes me happy. So I would do that as kind of like, all right, now I've got like a more relaxed atmosphere. I'd play music from Pacific Rim, that soundtrack, to get me all amped up, because it was cool. Now there's more we can do in all of this. There's really a lot more to be done about understanding what is that fear, the nature of it, how it shows up, when it shows up, what the thoughts, feelings, are around it, so you can identify it better and keep it from driving your behavior. And you can see other areas where this fear is showing up without you realizing it. Did you know that procrastination was based in fear? Maybe there's some other worries, anxieties, issues that are also based in fear, that once you understand the deeper fear behind it, might just kind of release and let you do things like have a better work-life balance, be more confident, love yourself, have a better dating life, all that other, just have a more kick-ass life, enjoy yourself. Next up, also understanding your own process for overcoming fear. Everyone has a process. You just aren't probably aware of it. So you can really, that's what I do with my clients, is help them shine a big light on it, and like just build that muscle up that they already have, and know what works for them. These are great tools that are general. There might be specific stuff that works for you that you can really dig in and find, that will make this even easier to do, to take massive action, to do stuff you're scared of, all that stuff. And finally, the biggest thing is to stop being driven by fear, and instead, I love this phrase, be drawn by love. I stole that from somebody else who I forget who it is at the moment, but it's so awesome and legit, because so much of our life is driven by fear that we're not enough, fear that we're not good enough, fear that we got to impress people. We got to be a certain way for people at work to accept us, for people like our partner to like us, for other people to like us. We feel like we need to do certain things to be successful and happy, when really it's about like understanding who you are, being able to express yourself fully, being unashamed and unapologetic about yourself, knowing what you want and what you care about, and taking action towards that. And there's actually a science to this too. We've got two systems in our brain: parasympathetic nervous system, sympathetic nervous system. We're always on one of these systems. Parasympathetic, I believe, sometimes I'm getting confused, is based on fear. And this comes from evolution, of how like we are basically always on the lookout for fear, because we're always looking for what could be a snake in the grass that might kill us. And so we have this system that its job is to constantly look out for fear, look out for, and it keeps us stuck where we are in our life. It doesn't want us to grow. It doesn't want us to move forward. It wants us to stay safe, play small. And this system is what wants us to, not put ourselves out there, not try something new. And it finds all these reasons of, but you'll probably just fail anyway. You're not good enough. Nobody cares. That's where all that stems from. Then there's the other system, which is your like more relaxed and creative and enjoyable and able to enjoy life. And that helps you like when you combine that with really being able to tap into who you are and what you care about, what your values are, where you want to be, what you want to be doing, how you want to show up. When you can kind of combine all that, then you're just like fucking taking off like on a rocket. You're showing up how you want to be. You're taking progress, making progress. Even, you know, you're not going to have all the answers. You're not every like even through as uncertainty pops up, because guess what, it's gonna as struggles pop up, you're able to, you know, bounce back quickly, move through them, rather than letting them, you know, knock you out for, you know, weeks or months, and or like having you spend years dragging your feet on something that really like would light you up and inspire you. So yeah, going from fear-based, driven by fear, to a place of living your life of fucking freedom and love and ass kickingness. So more tools to help you do this. So I've given you a bunch of tools. I've got more. It's probably overwhelming, but you know, it's a cool fucking book to flip through every now and then to help you snap out of a rut, build confidence, happiness, and it can help you stay motivated. I've got another bonus on how to achieve your biggest goals. It's about breaking things down a special way so that you can knock things out, and things that seem big and scary suddenly become not scary at all once it's time to do them, and actually pretty enjoyable. And there's those two things. There's also, I've got a wait list if you want more one-on-one help going into all this stuff, and a lot more that I didn't have time to share. Email me at Brian at what is it? marketingwithbrian.com. My coaching email is temporarily broken or whatever, but use yeah, just shoot me an email. We can talk more about what you need, see how I can help, and if we're a good fit for one-on-one work, I'll put you on the wait list, and I'll let you know when spots open up for more intense help. So that's all. Hop on over to there, get the book. It's cool. Shoot me an email if you want the bonus, or want to look into working together. And that's all. Keep kicking ass. Talk to you later. Bye. No, I didn't stop the recording. Fuck.